A friendly match is coming up for Team Melli, the national team of Iran. And if you guessed Uzbekistan or Syria, then you are correct. On today's show, I'll be talking about the list of players called up by head coach Dragan Skocic, and of course, you'll also get my prediction. You know what time it is. It's time for Team Melli Talk. It has been nearly 2 years since Iran defeated Syria in a friendly match 5-0. And yes, once again, Iran will be playing Syria in a friendly match on the 30th of March at the Saadati Stadium in Tehran. Now, before we begin, just like to wish everyone happy Nowruz. Really do appreciate the support. Wishing you all health, happiness, and all the best for you in this upcoming year. And of course, also wishing for 4 huge victories from Team Melli when World Cup qualifying resumes in June. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into this list of players, starting with the goalkeepers. Take a look. Ali Reza Beiranvand, Hayam Niazmand, and Rashid Mazaheri have been called up by Dragan Skocic. From my point of view, I'm expecting that we will see Ali Reza Beiranvand starting in goal when Iran plays Syria, but there's one part of me that would really like to see Rashid Mazaheri get the start. He's been on good form lately for Esteghlal in the Persian Gulf Pro League, and as we know, Ali Reza Beiranvand has not really been in the starting lineup as of late for Antwerp in the top flight of football in Belgium. Next up, the center backs. Majida Hosseini, Shoja Khalilzadeh, Aref Golami, and Hossein Kenani. Now, if Dragan Skocic plans on using 3 center backs like he did in the previous friendly match against Bosnia and Herzegovina, then I think it is safe to say that the 3 starting center backs this time around against Syria will be Hosseini, Khalilzadeh, and Kenani. Now on to the wing backs. Milad Mohammadi leads this group here in terms of experience and caps. We also have Siamak Nemati, Mehdi Tikdari, and Abolfazl Jalali. Now, I'll be honest, probably some head scratchers here. I would say involving Tikdari and Jalali. These are 2 players that have never been called up before for Team Melli. This is interesting. But before, making my judgments and all that, I think it'd be a better idea to take a look at what these 2 younger players can bring to the table. First, let's start with Tikdari. He's 24 years old, a right back currently playing for Traktor in the Persian Gulf Pro League. A few things that I like about him, he has the speed, and I really like his ball distribution skills, and he is good at disrupting passes. So definitely like what I see there from Mehdi Tikdari. Now, as for Abolfazl Jalali, he is a left back. He is 22 years old, currently playing for Saipa. And let's not forget, Saipa has produced some pretty good talents for Iranian football over the years. And the bottom line, when talking about Abolfazl Jalali, he's got great vision, and I really, really like his ability to cross the ball. And like I said, when it comes to these 2 players, am I expecting them to start becoming regulars for Team Melli? Definitely not. But while they have been called up to this camp, I would like to see what they could bring to the pitch when Iran goes up against Syria. Next up, the midfielders. First, we got Omida Ebrahimi and Ali Karimi, who are both currently plying their trade in Qatar, followed by Ahmad Nurullahi. And let's not forget about the midfield duo of Ehsan Haj Safi and Omide Nurafkan. Now, this is where there's a lot of concern here. Where is Saeed Ezzatullahi? Well, let's just say definitely not happy about this, seeing that he wasn't called up, but I'll touch on this a little bit later. Next, we go to the wingers. Ali Golizadeh, Jafar Salmani, Mehdi Tikdari, and Vahid Amiri. Now, at the moment, Ali Golizadeh's status is up in the air. He's waiting results on a COVID test, and unfortunately for Mehdi Tikdari, he tested positive for COVID-19, so he will not be partaking in this camp or in the friendly match, and we also wish him a speedy recovery. And before we get to Gaidi's replacement, I actually want to be talking about Jafar Salmani. Great speed on the wings. He could play as a winger or as a wing back, so definitely very beneficial for Dragan Skocic. Of Jafar Salmani, and he was one of the players I chose that I believe deserved a call up to Team Melli. So I chose 2 players. I talked about 2 players in that scouting report, so I got 1 out of the 2 correct. So that's definitely a good thing. And You cannot be surprised that Salmani has been called up by Dragan Skocic. I mean, he was coached by Skocic at Sanat Naft Abadan. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Jafar Salmani playing against Syria. And last but not least, let's take a look at the forwards called up by Dragan Skocic. A good group here in Sardar Azmoun of Zenit St. Petersburg, Mehdi Tikdari of FC Porto, Karima Ansarifard of AEK Athens, and Alayar Sayed Manesh, who has been on top form lately for Zorya Luhansk. And when it comes to Azmoun, once again he continues to score goals in the Russian Premier League. And let's not forget about Mehdi Tikdari. Not only is he making a name for himself in Portugal, but lately he's been making a name for himself in the UEFA Champions League. So these are definitely very, very exciting times. Looking forward to seeing what Azmoun and Taremi do when Iran plays against Syria. And now for Mehdi Tikdari's replacement on the roster. This player is none other than forward Sajjad Shahbazzadeh of Sepahan, currently top scorer of the Persian Gulf Pro League with 16 goals in 18 appearances. I mean, the bottom line is Shahbazzadeh has been scoring like a machine lately. But he's an interesting player. He's never played for Team Melli before, and he actually had a short spell in Turkey a few years ago with Alanyaspor. But trust me, there's plenty of Iranian football fans that aren't too big on him, getting called up, even being a replacement for Mehdi Tikdari. He's 31 years old. And in this situation, though, I gotta be honest, I would like to see Shahbazzadeh get some minutes against Syria because, let's face it, this might be his only opportunity to play for Team Melli, the national team of Iran. And now for my reflection regarding the list of players called up by Dragan Skocic. Well, let's face it, there are plenty of Iranian football fans that are not happy with this list, and I gotta go back to my concern regarding why Said Ezzatullahi was not called up. He's been playing well lately with Vejle in the Danish Superliga, so why wasn't he called up? What's the deal there? I mean, am I ready to ring the alarm bells and just lose all faith in Dragan Skocic? No, I'm definitely not there right now. But if Said Ezzatullahi is not called up for Iran's 4 crucial World Cup qualifiers, then I'll make it official and say that I'm done with Dragan Skocic. What about you? I definitely want your input. What is your opinion of the players that have been called up by head coach Dragan Skocic? Leave a comment down below. Alright, now it's time for my prediction. Am I expecting another 5-0 victory for Iran over Syria? Definitely not. But Syria is also not really bringing that strong of a squad to Tehran. So having said that, I expect a comfortable win for Iran, and I'm predicting a 3-1 victory for Team Melli over Syria. Thank you everybody for joining us on this edition of Team Melli Talk. Really do appreciate the support. Make sure you get to our website, www.teammellitalk.com. Remember, this is your best source for the latest news on Team Melli, the national team of Iran. You know where to find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know the handle, @Team Melli Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification button. See you on the next edition of Team Melli Talk.